So if you've been in a long, frustrating, almost seems like it's a never-ending reading slump, guess what? I've got good news for you, and you're also at the right place, because today I'm going to be sharing some helpful and valuable tips on how to get out of a reading slump, reignite your passion for reading, and just start reading again. I'm a chief expert when it comes to reading slumps. I literally just came out of one that was stretching for so long, where I lost my desire, inspiration, and motivation to read, and it was so frustrating for me because I really love to read and escape in all of these books, no matter what genre they might be. You might actually be surprised at some of the tips that I'm going to share today, because they are not particularly conventional when it comes to helping you come out of a reading slump, but I'll explain why. So sit back, watch till the end, and let's get started. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a thing. Like this video so that it is referred to other viewers as well. So today we're talking reading slumps and how to get out of them. Like I said earlier, you guys, I was in the worst reading slump of my life, and this wasn't even a case of so many things were happening so I didn't have time to read. It was a lack of desire and inspiration or motivation to even pick up a book to read. Granted, I was like doing a lot of Netflix binging and watching a lot of things on Netflix, or rewatching things for like the 100th time. But still, I mean, I was still able to sort of find a way to come out of that reading slump, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. I'd actually done a video before on how to get out of a reading slump, but I felt it was necessary to update, especially from this recent experience of mine, because I did try some of the tips in those videos and I found that it wasn't really working for me, because this one was, you know, really in there, and it affected my inspiration, my desire to create, to just be motivated in reading. And I felt like it was a lot more deeper than some of the tips that I had shared in the other videos. So I felt it was necessary to do an updated one. So yeah, like I said, you might be surprised at some of the tips that I'm about to drop, but I know that in the end, they will actually be valuable and they will help you start reading again. So let's get started. My first tip would be to not try to read for a while. I know you were probably not expecting that. So you're expecting like pick up a small book, read something small. No. Don't try to read for a while. If you've been in a reading slump and you want to get reading again, don't like consciously be trying to read. You should actually just stop reading for a while. Go and do some Netflix. Go and, you know, do different activities, concentrate on work. Just leave reading for a while. Because I feel like the relationship with reading and fall in love with reading, especially if you're a book lover, you understand what I mean. Reading is something that is so effortless. It has this effortless vibe to it, where you pick up a book, you fall in love with like the pages, you immerse yourself in that world, whether it's fiction, whether it's non-fiction, and you're learning from it. It's something that is an effortless thing. It's not something that should be forced. It's not like, I mean, I don't want to say academia, because there are people who are passionate about academia, but it's not something that should be forced, or something that you should try to sit yourself down on table and be like, okay, today I'm going to read this, I'm going to read that. Yes, you can have like a goal or a reading goal or a reading plan to how you want to achieve your reading goals, but I don't think that it's something that should be forced to the point where you feel like as if you are, you know, doing manual labor. So yeah, don't try to read for a while. Stay away from reading. Do something else that might spark your inspiration, which I'm coming to. So that's my first tip. My second tip would be to take long walks. If you notice that you're not particularly physically active, because this could also affect your mental health to an extent that you might not even be aware about. It might affect your creativity if you're not doing a lot of physical activity, like physical exercise, or just taking a walk. It might not even be that you have to go to the gym to work out or anything like that, but there's something about taking a walk, especially if you're surrounded by places where there's a lot of nice nature, there's trees, there's leaves, just inhaling that fresh air and just clearing your head. Sometimes our minds are too cluttered to be able to take in any other thing. So it's not when it's cluttered that you're trying to read a book to escape. You know, it's quite ironic, yes, because you want to read a book to escape, but at the same time your mind can't take on anymore, even if it's something good. So take long walks. They help to just refresh you, purge yourself of whatever, if you need to talk to yourself on the walks, if you need to just look around, if you want to listen to music while you're taking the walks, awesome. If you want to pray, if you want to just, you know, concentrate on your breathing, or you don't even want to do anything while you're taking those walks, I would say that they really, really help, especially with decluttering the mind. And I feel like reading also comes from a place of creativity and inspiration. So if your creativity is low, you might find that you're not particularly inspired to pick up a book to read. So yeah, take those long walks and just clear your head, declutter, breathe in fresh air, and just, you know, yeah, do that. I mean, it will definitely help. I know that it helped me. My third tip would be to change your location. Now, a lot of these my tips, you guys are seeing that it has nothing to do with reading at this point. It has nothing to do with, you know, just getting books or buying more books or looking for a 100-page book or a short book. No. At this point, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your creativity back. And for me, that was something that was so important. Like I said, mine was a case of I had lost all desire to pick up a book to read. I had lost the inspiration, but I knew inside of me that I had this passion for reading. And if I get a new book or I get a book that I'm excited, I have, look, you guys, this shelf behind me is full of books that I have not read. So it's not about buying books. I had books. I had books. I had audiobooks. My Scribd audiobook app was just renewing every month for at least 5 months, to the point where I almost deactivated my Scribd, because I was like, I'm not even using this, but I keep on paying a monthly subscription, and it's just annoying when you see that debit alert from nowhere when you've forgotten about an app that you subscribe to. So at some point, I actually did want to just take that break, but I found that I had to work on my creativity and just my inspiration, especially as it relates to reading. And so that's why I would suggest change a location. I went to Obudu Cattle Ranch, which is also Obudu Mountain Resort, and I shared that in my video when I talked about my life and my reading update, and it was a very lovely change of environment for me. I was surrounded by nature. I didn't start reading immediately I came back from that, but it just refreshed me and gave me different perspectives to life, just made me, you know, remove and declutter my mind, like a lot of things that were like, remove a lot of hefty things from my mind, and just, it helped me to declutter it. So I would say, if you can travel, whether local or internationally, do it. If you can have a change of environment, even if it's a staycation, if it's in the same state, if you have somewhere where there's nature, there's like a park or a resort, or it's go to the beach, do something that is not part of your normal routine, that sort of interacts with nature, or is a place where you can just clear your head, because at the end of the day, it will give you like a different perspective. It will sort of spark that creativity. There's something about nature and creativity that just sparks it in you. So I'm not guaranteeing that as soon as you come back from your trip or your staycation or wherever, you're definitely going to start reading, but it's something that will cause a positive shift inside of you. You could even take a book while you're there just to test it and see how it is. If you feel like reading, fine. If you don't, fine. My fourth tip would be to join a book club. Why I'm using this tip first is because, so check it, you're not inspired to read, you've been struggling with reading, you know that you are a book lover, you know that you would like to read, you keep on buying a lot of books day in, day out, and you're not reading any one of them. I would definitely say join a book club. Why? Because you may not be reading the books that they're picking every month, but just going to a gathering. Remember, you're a book lover at heart, so meeting other book lovers, connecting with them, going to a gathering where you hear book lovers talking about books, it's definitely something that can get you excited. The first few months you might just go, you're not reading the book, you're just sitting down there, nothing seemingly to contribute. But one thing I love about my book club is the fact that even if you don't read the book of the month, things always happen. The conversations always go in a way that even people who didn't end up reading are the ones that contribute the most, because it's something. Even if it's a fiction book, if it's a non-fiction book, there's always something to learn, there's always something to discuss, there's always something that probably mirrors something that is going on in the society. So a lot of people have come for book club bits and they weren't interested in reading the book of the month, and they came and they said, look, I was not interested in reading, I've been struggling, I can't read anything. But just from those conversations, they were able to get inspired and motivated to keep on reading. So I would definitely say join a book club. Even if you are not reading the books of the month, you're not buying them, just attend book club meets, and just slowly but surely you get that spark to want to read again, especially when you hear people discussing things. That's something that I know that has helped me even when I was not reading the book of the month. I wasn't finishing it. Just going back and hearing people discussing how interesting the book was or how not interesting it was, there's something that will stick out to you and you're like, oh my goodness, this might actually be a really, really nice read. So I think you should join a book club. My fifth tip would be to have a compassionate book buddy. Not just any type of book buddy, a compassionate one who understands that at the moment or you're currently in a reading slump, but this is somebody who is probably your friend, who is somebody who you share a reading interest with, and this person is your book buddy. A book buddy is somebody who you guys probably read books together, you check up on each other. Oh, how are you doing reading wise? Oh, there's this book I read. It was interesting. Have you read it? Do you want to read? I think that would really go a long way. You need to have somebody who is compassionate, who understands that, oh, right now, at the moment, you're struggling with reading, you're not in the mood, you have you're going through a really rough time, whatever it may be in terms of reading. And the person has to be compassionate, but just enough that the person also from afar is able to inspire you to read or pick up a book, So yeah, I would say get a compassionate book buddy. And my last tip, which is number 6, will be to try audiobooks or comics or like a different format of books that you're used to. So when I started reading again, one thing that I really love to read autobiographies, more so when they are audiobooks, more so when they are performed by the actual person who wrote the autobiography, whose story they're telling. And then the crazy thing is when they're now a celebrity that I am a fan of, an actress, a musician, a sports athlete, whatever it is, I am definitely interested in that. So that's something that I'm already interested in, whether or not I feel like reading, whether or not I don't feel like reading. And luckily for me, at the book club, they chose a book, Gabrielle Union's second book, and the audiobook was available on Scribd. So I started listening to that, and slowly but surely, I then got, books. Slowly but surely, I actually fell in love with listening to somebody's story again. And it reminded me of what passion I had for reading autobiographies. So yeah, you can try audiobooks, whatever genre it might be. You can try these autobiographies. I know that Viola Davis's autobiography Finding Me just came out. I'm a huge fan of Viola Davis, especially from How to Get Away with Murder and some other beautiful things that she has done, and that book is so amazing. She performed it herself. It's literally like you're sitting with her and you're chatting, but the delivery was spot on. I can't wait to do the book review for you guys so that you guys know what I've been enjoying this past couple of days. I'm due to finish that book probably tomorrow. By the time this video goes up, I would have probably finished it, and I'll definitely let you guys know how it went. So if you're used to reading hard copy books, try audiobooks. I use Scribd. It's a monthly subscription. You can try Audible. I guess that's on Amazon. You can try a couple of other audiobook apps where you can get free audiobooks and just go about your daily chores while you're actually listening to the book. And you'll find that, that spark of something that is interesting inside of you in terms of reading might just come alive. My bonus tip would be, if you are a book lover and so far you have created a Bookstagram account, a booktube account, you're somebody who actually likes to post up, updates on your social media about reading, I would say reach out to publishers or reach out to book influencers or PR agencies, little PR agencies who might want to send you books for free in exchange for a review. Look, you guys, I didn't even know how this helped me, but I was feeling like, oh, it's been a while that I haven't received books. Oh my goodness, I would like to receive books, even if I have a bookshelf full of books, but it had been a while, yes. But then coincidentally, as I was feeling that way, somebody reached out to me from the book lady and she was like, oh, I'd like to send you these 2 books in exchange for a review. And then I gave a timeline and I was like, okay, yes. And as at that time, I hadn't even started reading. I was not in love with reading. I was like, oh my goodness, whatever. Yeah, let me just set a timeline. But I found that when the timeline was getting close, I hadn't picked up those books to read. I was conscious of the timeline and I had to sit down and actually read those books. So it almost felt like as if I was being forced to do it. But guess what? As I was reading it, when I finished reading first, I was like, oh my goodness, I actually liked this book. Like, this is so nice. And then I read the second one. I'm like, yeah, I actually liked it. Yeah, I have my reservations. Okay, whatever. And I can't wait to actually talk about those reservations or share them on my social media or share what I liked about the book or did not like about the book. So if you're somebody who has been creating content on books, whether it's just snapping them or posting on Twitter or whatever, I would say request for books and give a timeline. That would make you want to read the books, and you have to stick to your timeline if you're trying to be professional, because they're sending sending you these books, they want honest book reviews in exchange for what they're sending you. So that's something that I did that I didn't know, and I was so thankful to the book lady NG. I literally told her, I'm like, look, you don't even know what you've done for me, because as soon as I read the first book, I was excited. I read the second one. It was even a short book. It was like 98 pages. I've put up the review on It's Singular by Adefunke Adeyemi. I love that book so much. I learned so much. I learned profound lessons from it. And it just felt like it spoke to me. After I'd read 2 books, I was like, what? This girl is reading 2 books in 2 weeks. That is crazy, from somebody who had not been reading anything in 6 months. And that really helped me. So please let me know in the comments if any of these tips are helpful, if these are things that you would like to try out, or if these are things that are feasible to you, or what you're doing to get out of a reading slump. If you're also in a reading slump, share with me in the comments as well. And if you have any additional tips for people who may want to know how to get off a long, never-ending reading slump, please put in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.